Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Welcome to Shofar Mountain. You know, in the last, 3 or 4 weeks, I have been getting emails and messages, and my wife's been getting Facebook posts and things that, people want to come to Shofar Mountain, or they just want to come visit, or they want to do this, or they want to do that. And I'm sensing panic in the people. You know, we had people come here before who were running away from something as opposed to coming to community on Shofar Mountain. And because of that, they didn't work out, right? And so we're very leery of people who are in a panic mode, who are trying to run away from something. You know, CERN is firing up, or the asteroid's going to hit, or Jade Helm, or, whatever. The world's crazy. But people see that, and many people in the last little bit have been trying to figure out how to get here. It's not going to happen. It's too late. It makes me sad, but right now we are temporarily closed to new people coming. We have recently had an influx of new families move to Shofar Mountain, and we're trying to get them settled, and we're trying to figure out, how we can interact as a community. And right now we don't need to introduce anything new into it. In the end of the next 3 weeks, we should have 30 people here, either right here on Shofar Mountain or in the immediate vicinity. And when I say immediate vicinity, I mean within a mile, half a mile, something like that. And so, yeah, the invite was out there for a long time. The invite will undoubtedly open up again, probably in the spring or summer next year, for more people who are interested. But right now, sorry, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to get ourselves sorted out, figure out who we are as a community. And so we don't need to introduce anybody new right now. We're also not taking visitors right now. We have the feasts coming up, and we have lots of people coming for the feasts, and you know who you are if you're coming. But if you're not coming, you're not coming, okay? We're full. And it does make me sad. Someday I would like to have unlimited hostel space, like a youth hostel, unlimited camping areas and things like that for the saints and for people. And that is something we are working towards, but it's work, right? And speaking of work, I got a little irritated today. My wife showed me something on Facebook where a guy wrote something to the effect of, "I'm homeless and on my own in Northwest Arkansas because I don't have $1,000 and a year's worth of food to join a community," right? And then somebody, I guess, said, "That sounds like Shofar Mountain." People who do move here have to have a year's supply of food. They do not have to have $1,000 to move here, but they do have to have a year's supply of food before they move here. So that part's true. And I think he may have actually been talking about another community that he just tried to look into. But here's the deal on this individual, who I will not name. But we had somebody sign up for an apprentice program here and pay their money, and then they didn't show up. I think they paid the money just to find out where we are, right? And at the same time, about a week later, this homeless guy who shares the faith with us showed up in the area, and he needed a place to stay. And this woman that we know that lives a mile away, she said, "Hey, can he stay at Shofar Mountain?" And at first I was like, yeah, I don't know. But then, the word says take care of your poor brothers and things like that. So I was like, all right. And so I called him aside, I invited him in. He had a tent and stuff and a dog. And I told him his dog couldn't stay here. So he kept his dog someplace else. But I said, look, here's the deal. Somebody has paid for your apprentice program, your apprenticeship, and so you can live with us, you can work with us, you can play with us, you can be part of Shofar Mountain for a week, and at the end of that week, we'll play it by ear, and we'll see, how you're fitting in. And my plan was, if the guy was working, to just let him stay here and, have the other saints here chip in and kind of help try and feed him if he was, pulling his weight. And so this particular individual, he was nominally here a week, and I think he worked with us parts of 3 days Like he was sleeping in a tent, so he would get up late, and then he would come down and he would kind of hang out, and he liked to talk a lot. And when he worked pretty hard, but then he would stop and he would wander away to this woman lives in a trailer about a mile from here, and she has two young adult sons that live in this trailer with her, and they have air conditioning and Wi-Fi and stuff like that, and he'd hang out there all day. And sometimes he'd come back here to sleep at night, sometimes he wouldn't. And at the end of the week, to put it in worldly terms, you know, Friday was going to be his last day, and so Thursday I said, so where are you going tomorrow? Because he just wasn't working, right? He just wasn't up to the rigors of the work that we do here at Shofar Mountain. Now this guy's 30 years old, right? I'm 53. Any 30-year-old out there ought to be able to outwork a 53-year-old man, right? Not even close, right? And he didn't try. And so we did not invite him to stay. And so lo and behold, that lady, the sister, you know, also in the faith, let him move in with her and her two sons in this trailer. And so that went on for about a month. And he's sitting there, you know, and she's paying rent, right? She's paying rent for her electricity and water and internet and stuff like that. And so he's living in this trailer with her and her, you know, two young adult sons, and doesn't have a job, not contributing money. And she's feeding him, and he's on her internet all day, and he just hangs out, right? And so I guess today she looked at him while he was eating cereal in his pajamas at noon and said, hey, you're going to have to start helping out around here. You're going to have to start paying some money to live here, you know, in this trailer that I'm paying for, and for the food that I'm feeding you. And so he got mad and he left in a huff. And he carried all his homeless guy stuff with him, and he moved on down the road, and we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, I don't know how far he got, and then he gets on his iPhone and he gets on Facebook, and he's like, I need a place to stay, I need a ride, and, you know, I don't have $1,000 and a year's worth of food to join a community. Well, all you really had to do, bud, was work, you know, hang out. We have a saying at Shofar Mountain, if you want to be part of Shofar Mountain, be part of Shofar Mountain, right? He could have stayed with that woman. You know, he could have got a little job doing something for money to help pay out with the rent. But there's this mentality in so many people today where they think the world owes them something. You know, you owe me. You got to pay me, or you got to support me, and, you know, my Obama card or my EBT or whatever the heck people use. Nobody owes you nothing. You know, why should I pay for your food? If you have an EBT card, I am paying for your food. Why should I? What are you doing for me? You know, people say, oh, that's cold-hearted, Pastor. Yeah, well, I've seen too much abuse of the system. I've seen too many people who could get a job, who could work for money, who aren't. And I see all scopes of people working out here. I see people that didn't even graduate high school that are making $12, $15, $20 an hour. Hey, it's money, right? The word says 6 days shall you labor, and the seventh day you rest, right? 6 days you should labor, you should work. And again, you don't have to work for the man, but then you got to work. I got another brother, he'll probably watch this video and get mad at me. You know, he hasn't worked forever. And he sits at home in his bedroom he's got a wife and a new baby, and he just sits there on the internet all day. He doesn't even work on his own place, right? Doesn't even mow the lawn or clean up the place. It's disgusting. Get out there and work, man. You know, go back and look at my video, Man Up, or Be a Man, or whatever I called it. There's too many slackers out there, and the slackers think the world owes them something, and the slackers are part of the problem, and the slackers are going to fall by the wayside when what's coming is coming. I guess that was a mini rant. All right, I'll see y'all out there.